So you're thinking about visiting Venice, maybe next month, maybe next year, maybe in 30 years if it's still above water. But if you've clicked on this video, it's probably because you're thinking about it, and you're definitely already thinking about where you want to eat when you get here. You want to avoid the tourist traps. You don't want to get stuck paying way too much for something that really isn't worth even half of what you're paying. You want to try something that you can't try anywhere else. You've clicked on the right video. If you're new here, my name is Kelly. I've been living and working in and around Venice for almost 5 years now. And when I say living and working, I mean I'm in the industry. I'm in a kitchen 5 days a week, making stuff for you guys to eat. And I also love being on your side of the table instead of just behind the kitchen doors. So trust me when I tell you that these places are where you want to go. Whether you're in Venice for 2 days or 2 weeks, you're going to want to try a couple. Today, we're going to be talking about breakfast, lunch, and dinner options for every budget. Let's get into it. It would be silly not to start with breakfast. Now, the Italian breakfast, internationally speaking, is not number one. They went so hard on lunch and dinner that breakfast truly is an afterthought a lot of the time. But for my fellow breakfast lovers, for those for whom it is truly the most important meal of the day, I have you covered. The first one we're going to talk about is an absolute staple, a Venetian classic, and one I have been visiting both on my days off of work and also on my commute into work for years now. We're talking about Pasticceria Dal Mas, which could not be cheaper or handier for what it is. Pasticceria Dal Mas is an absolutely classic Northern Italian style pasticceria. An amazing selection of Venetian biscuits, for which they're super famous for. Also Venetian cakes and sweetbreads and things like that that you might want to try because you're not going to find them anywhere else. Or your classic kind of Italian breakfast pastries, whether you want them filled with pastry cream, with chocolate, with pistachio, with fruit, with nuts, whether you want them just naked and delicious as they are, you can find them there. The women who work there are that perfect combo of lovely but also look like they know how to fight. It's one of my absolute go-tos when passing in Venice for either a coffee and a pastry or for full breakfast. I passed there literally this morning and got myself the classic Northern Italian brioche with pistachio cream inside and a cappuccino for €4.20. It's right next to the station. It's super handy for anywhere that you want to be if you're just arriving. It's an absolute staple for a reason. We then move on to something a little bit more upmarket in terms of budget, somewhere a little bit more hidden, a little bit. To call this a hidden gem would be a stretch even by TikTok influencer standards. We're talking about Sulla Luna on the moon. This is a bookshop slash cafe that is open basically all day, I think, but it's absolutely perfect whether you're talking about breakfast or whether you're talking again about a wee slice of cake or a wee slice of pastry and a cup of coffee. Absolutely. You can also drink here, you can also get lunch here, but for me, getting there when the sun is out but it's not too hot yet and you want something balanced, as in it's not something super heavy and sugary for the sake of it, as in it's something sweet but something also made with care, with good decent quality ingredients in a gorgeous environment beside the canal for some perfect people watching, you're going to want to go here. As I said, we're going to talk about every kind of budget, so I also have to talk about Cafe Moro. Now, this place is one that's kind of newer and it's in one of the most gorgeous palazzi here in Venice. Absolutely stunning from the inside and from the outside, right beside the big famous bridge of the Accademia, which has one of the most stunning Hollywood views of Venice, if you will, and worth stopping in by, even if it's not somewhere you'd go any more than once or twice a year for the prices. Now, I wouldn't say this place is essentially Italian style. It definitely caters to more of an international market. By that, I mean you can get brunch with eggs. You can have, savory plates for breakfast and do that kind of thing if you're looking for it. However, what I'd really recommend stopping by here for are the more, if I may, French influenced pastries and desserts. The opera cakes, the cream-based desserts and things
No, exactly.
like
And as you say, there's a big difference between no thank you and
other parts of Italy in a stunning location, which is really what you're paying for. It's definitely not somewhere you're going to go every day, unless your budget allows it, but it's definitely worth stopping in to treat yourself because there is no other place like it. And let me throw in an extra little bonus for you because we love breakfast and we love breakfast on a budget. So I also want to talk about Panificio Emilio Colussi, specifically the one in Campo Luca. Now this really is tucked away, and unlike two of the other places we've spoken about, it's not somewhere where you go in and you relax, you drink your coffee, no, but you will spend next to nothing and you will eat well, folks. In here you can get all sorts of things sweet and savory, basically all day. They even have their own little coffee machine so that you can make yourself a little coffee to go It's perfect if you're in a rush. It's perfect if you want to see the city and not spend everything you have to do so. And you can get little treats inspired by lots of different cuisines all over Italy. Get yourself a classic kind of big brioche, get yourself some fancy bread, get yourself some tiny little kind of single portion tarts with ricotta, with custard, with chocolate in them. It's a lot of selection for a very, very small price. It's worth checking out. Sweets and fancy buildings aside, let's talk about lunch. It's affordable, it's delicious, and it's unlike anything else you might find in the city because it's pretty much, if I'm not wrong, completely vegetarian. We're talking about Osteria La Zucca, the pumpkin osteria. Now, I have only been here once myself, but it's an absolute institution among Venetians and among tourists. It's always highly rated, and one of the best ways to eat there, though you can eat the kind of typical starter, first course, second course, dessert as you will, one of the best ways to eat at this place is to get a big selection of their veggie side dishes and have it almost like a form of very fiber heavy tapas. This is the way I ate there, it's the way that I know other people eat there, and it truly is a good budget way to eat healthy and delicious, as well as very, very seasonally, because Italians don't joke about their vegetables, folks. If you want something cozy and comforting that isn't heavy in the winter, or if it's the summer and you want something that's going to be refreshing, full of nutrients, and also really, really tasty, and unlike anything else you're going to find in the several other tourist trap restaurants nearby, especially somewhere that's nice and central, this is somewhere you're going to want to go. We move swiftly on to another place that's been around for a while, and it's in an absolutely perfect location, very central, and in one of the most kind of iconic, big, open, spacious campi in Venice. We're talking about Birraria La Corte. When customers, when friends, when people I know have asked me where to eat pizza in Venice, my first response is often, don't eat pizza in Venice. It's not the place to eat pizza. Italy in general, yes, you will find better pizza here than you can find anywhere else in the world. However, Venice is not the birthplace of pizza. It's not the best place to find it. In fact, I think it might actually be legal to have fully wood-fired ovens in the city. So, however, there are a couple of exceptions, and Birraria La Corte is absolutely an exception. The pizzas I can attest to, I've eaten a million times. They are delicious, they're diverse. It's not the usual kind of stuff you'll find on takeaway or sit-down restaurant menus anywhere. It's also not just the kind of stuff you'd find in Naples or pretending to be either. They also do have a full kitchen, so you can eat the more kind of traditional Northern Italian style food that way if you like. That also changes with every season. However, if you do want pizza in Venice, that's where you want to go. We move swiftly on to something a little bit higher budget, but still very accessible and worth it. We're talking about Mercanti. Here you're talking about slightly smaller portions, but better quality ingredients. You're talking, again, seasonal, Venetian, Italian in general. Not the stereotypical stuff, not the year-round carbonara, not the fake pizza. You're talking proper stuff that locals are going to eat. Plus, I recently found out that the owner has a real fixation with good quality coffee and does every single thing himself. So if you do go here, especially if you go here at lunchtime, get a coffee after your dinner. We're not talking about burnt Italian espresso, famous the world over for how it is. This guy buys the raw coffee beans from South America, toasts them himself, does the whole procedure with all of the equipment he's bought himself just to make sure that he himself has good coffee and that you have a great coffee experience even after your meal. Plus the wine's great too. And to throw in another bonus here for lunchtime, even if it is a little bit 1990s, sometimes we like that kind of thing, we're talking about Osteria al Cichetto. If you want to eat proper Venetian food in all of its forms, this is where to go, and you don't have to spend the earth to do it either. And finally, folks, we move on to dinner, most people's favorite part of every day, keeping always within the theme of the classic Venetian experience, which is really what you should be visiting Venice for. We're talking about, and this one is a bit of a mouthful in terms of the name, Bepi 54 Antico Daloris. I don't know why it needs to have so much going on in the name. You can also search on Google Daloris or Bepi 54, it will probably come up. If we were just talking about a place that's a bit 1990s, this one's a bit more 1980s style, but it's also very reliable, very traditional, and much loved for what it does. If you want to eat good fish and seafood, this is the place to go. You want to eat, again, very Venetian, this is the place to go. And without spending too much. Moving to a slightly chunkier price tag, but something that is truly what you won't find anywhere else in the world is Masa. I've been here 2 or 3 times and have some friends who go there very, very regularly because it is an absolute hitter every single time. Masa does Japanese Venetian fusion, not just Japanese Italian, Japanese Venetian. Where else are you gonna find that? Absolutely stunning selection of wines, and you can then find yourself immersed in just this complete conglomeration of Italian ingredients made in Japanese styles, in actual Japanese plates or Italian dishes made with Japanese techniques. How often do you get to experience polenta and ponzu on the same plate? Here you can find small plates with ingredients inspired by both cuisines, more kind of Venetian style cicchetti. You can have something refreshing like a plate full of raw fish, served in just the most stunning manner possible, or you can have a big hearty bowl of ramen. They have desserts that always have a gorgeous crossover between both cultures as well. It's an absolute win. Plus, the restaurant itself is gorgeous, it's tiny, it's intimate, and it's almost always full of Venetians. We move on to another experience that's very unique, something you'll find only in this restaurant in this city, and that is Bacan. This is another kind of fusion restaurant between just about all flavors Latin America with Venetian additions. How often do you find deep fried Venetian tiny shrimp on top of your guacamole? How often do you find Italian ingredients in your tacos al pastor? There are some gorgeous plates here, some things you won't try anywhere else. The cocktails are stunning. You'll spend a little bit more, but the place is beautiful and the food is even better. And to throw in a little bonus for dinner for you here too, I couldn't end any video talking about where to eat in Venice without talking about the Orient experience. Now, this is hardly news. It was even featured in Stanley Tucci's show on where to eat in Venice, essentially. But this is somewhere you can go if you're looking to not only eat exclusively Italian or Venetian food when you're in Venice. If you're here for more than a few days and you want to try something different, if you want to support a good cause, if you want to go somewhere that's helping do important things while feeding you great food at the same time, this is where to go. It's somewhere where you can spend a little bit, you can spend a lot. You can eat something small and light, or you can eat something that will keep you full for 3 days straight. Orient Experience focuses on flavors from North Africa through the Middle East all the way to South Asia, and let me tell you, it's delicious. Its recipes are curated by and made by the many refugees who have worked and continue to work there, bringing dishes from Libya, from Syria, from Afghanistan, from Iran, to make these kind of combo plates that you can build as you want with 2 or 3 different things, up to 5 or 6 different things. And it's stunning. The way they use spices, the way they use vegetables, the way they treat meat, it's something you won't find anywhere else in Venice. Somewhere that's naturally very welcoming and open to everyone, and somewhere you can get something truly delicious that you may have never tried before. It's not difficult to eat well in Venice on any budget. It just means that you need to know the right places to go. Do let me know if there's anywhere I have missed that you would like to drop in the comments, but I'm afraid that's all I have time for today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you for the next one.